But what he done there, Conte, he made a right point by keeping John Seddy in and around the dressing room, on the bench. Player what's been at the club all the time. People don't realise when you lose these players how much it affects you. Now, we lost Vidic, Ferdinand and Evra. 3 of them, a right blow. And we've got no one there to have a go at the players when we're 2-0 down and give them that lift, you know. Some of them just aren't made for it. But when we're going to talk about later on, Joe, I know we're going to speak about who we need to bring, we need to try and find a leader. Now, there's not many of them about now, but there is people about. But we need a leader on the pitch, someone who's been there and done it. That's the man we need. People going about wingers, about left back, about full back. We need a leader at Manchester United Football Club, full stop.
Yeah, and there's one thing I will bring up in just a second, but I just want to say hello to everyone who might be watching on YouTube. Guys, you've got the iPad in front of you. As the comments come in, just feel free to put in and let people know what they've got to say. We're live on Facebook as well, so, hello everyone. Get involved tonight. If you want to get actually on the phones, Trevor's outside. He wants to have a chat with you. 0345 111 7625. You can find the number in the description as well. So get in touch tonight and get involved in the show. Is there any early comments coming in, guys?
There is. Did we find out how much Van Dijk went to Liverpool for?
Well, yeah, but judging by the comments, I think it was 75.
Some people in the comments saying 75 million. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case. So if I'm talking rubbish there, I very much apologise. However, a lot of people laughing sort of at the fact that Liverpool would go out and spend 75 mil on a centre-back. I wouldn't laugh at that. I hope we go and spend 75 mil on a centre-back because we need a 75 million pound centre-back. Look, people laughed at City in the summer. They said 50 million for full-backs, and it's exactly what they needed, and it strengthened it plugged the holes that they had. So, it's what we need to do.
Sorry, guys. Tom, to a kid, big Celtic fan off Twitter, I know him personally. He said to me, he said, you need to have a look at this kid. What did Southampton pay? Did he pay 15, 16 for him? Mm-hmm. He said he can, on his day, he can play, and he's a great defender. And if you look at the start of his career at Southampton, it's only the last, probably start of the season when his head was swung by a big move, and he wasn't probably fit and ready to play. People laugh, but what's the money all about? It's not his fault, it's what's been agreed between the two clubs. He'll just get on with it. And if he comes back, it'd be a great additional for them, He can play, the kid. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he scores a load of own goals and they get done at corners every other week. But like saying City's raised the bar, Liverpool's raised it even higher. I think Liverpool had to go in with that bid and get it done because I think City was sniffing about him. So it's done now, and then we'll just have to wait and see what happens now in the window for us.
Let's just put this little talking point to bed before we carry on with what's going to happen. Is we're going to have a bit of a break, then we're going to look at 2017, and then we're going to look at who we might need for 2018. So get the comments coming in nice and early. Now, one thing I want to address, I want to talk about, and we can get this out of the way early doors and let us know your thoughts, is that your trust in the manager, Jose Mourinho, who's come up for a lot of sort of stick called Mr. Excuse. You can't think of anything else but sort of blaming other people. But it's not up to what the media say about Jose Mourinho, but what you think about him. The fans think about Jose Mourinho. Is there still trust in the manager? The improvement is still there. What do you think, Webby?
Trust, I'd go to war for Jose. You know what I mean? I'm going to back you 100%. After the two idiots we've had previously, after Fergie, Jose should have come the day Fergie walked out the door. It never happened for different reasons, but he's here now. He's made for the club. Don't get me wrong, he was left with a very, very poor squad. He's added to it. I said he needed 4 to 5 windows to get players out, get his own players in. Now, it was a big window in the summer. He got 3 out of the 4 he wanted. He wasn't happy. He was dying on Perisic coming. It never happened because he was umming and ahhing about a few million quid. That's what we lack. We lack a bit of width. You look at the Burnley game, it was all going down the middle, and our width was coming from the full-backs. We get a winger in and a leader. I don't think we're that far short, really. And then trust Jose 100%. And like you said, I'd go to war for the man.
Completely agree. I think we've made progress. We really have. People are looking at it in a certain way just because of what City are doing this season. But you can't deny that we've made progress. Under the Jose, we've won. Some people say 2 competitions. Not really. I'm not really a massive League Cup fan myself. However, you've got to class it as one, I suppose. We've won 2 cups there, and this season we're second in the league. We're flying in the Champions League. I feel like everyone's forgetting that. We've got 5 wins out of 6 in the Champions League. Absolutely cruised through that.
Wouldn't believe it, would you?
Exactly. You wouldn't believe it, mate. So, look, let's see where we can go in the rest of that competition. Hopefully, if we get through to if we can get our way to the semi-finals, that will be some Champions League performance, I think, for us just returning to it.
And a miracle as well, Gaz. A miracle, mate.
Well, yeah, I know, but you never know, mate. You never know. And, if we're second in the league, I really do hope that our Reds don't go when it does get to the point where it is officially sort of over now. Like, if it's 15 points at the end of February. I just hope we carry on going, can secure a second place, carry on going in the Champions League, see what we can maybe try doing in the Cups, but I think it's all pointing the right way for Jose.
Right, we've got a caller before we go to a break. It's called Lewis. Good evening, Lewis.
How's it going, lads?
I'm very, very well, Lewis. Lewis, what do you want to speak about today? Make your points to the lads, and then we'll have a bit of a chat.
So, I'd say the argument, obviously there's a lot of chaps around United wondering why we're not doing so good. We're getting a lot of cop off, Liverpool fans, City fans, all this. I think a lot of it boils down to, I think there's just doubt with the players. Ever since Fergie left, we've got players there that are comparing themselves to, what they were achieving under Fergie. And now, after now with Mourinho, I think the Reds have gone a bit, and I think when the team takes a bit of a wobble, as it has done the past few games, it gets dragged out and it gets worse, and until we get new players in that can kind of provide that push and inject a bit of just inject new life into the team, really. I think it's going to take a while for it to before we do get back to winning ways. It's definitely not a short-term fix, and anyone thinks it is frankly is a bit daft.
Gaz, what do you make of Lewis's point there?
Yeah, well, Jose said, didn't he, the other day when someone said, you realise you've had all this money to spend, and he says, well, we need more. It's just the way football is now. I think that we had the chance and we spent a lot of money and maybe necessarily didn't spend it in the right places. But I do think that United, when you compare us to what City have spent, even if you go back you can take it back the last 10 years, and we have been massively underinvested in, I think, and over the years it's sort of culminated into the squad being so disjointed. We've got certain positions where we've got like no Premier League quality players that can play it, and then other positions where we've just got a ton of players, and it's just a sort of, what I can't think the word that I'm looking for, but it's an uneven squad at the minute, and I think that we've got real holes that need to be specifically looked at, specific positions that we go for, and I think that we just need to be a bit more easy with the prices as well. Just thinking, look, if we've got to pay it, we've got to pay it. That's the way football's going. When we signed Pogba, I remember Jose saying, you'll buy a player for half his quality for twice as much in a few years. And that it's looking like that is going to be the case. I mean, how much did we get? How much was it that we actually ended up getting Pogba for? Towards 100 million.
Yep.
And then that what they're saying about Van Dijk, which I don't think is a too bad of a price to get him for, even though it does sound ridiculous. It's just the way football is now. It's rip-offs.
It is. Lewis, thank you very much for your call there. Do what Lewis did. Give us a call now, because we're going to take a little break. 0345 111 7625. The number will be along the bottom of your screens. Come and have a chat with Webby and Gaz. Coming up after the break, we're going to be speaking about 2017 as a whole. We're coming to the end of the year, so let's do a little year review. So do get in touch. 0345 111 7625, and we'll speak to you after this. Welcome back to the XS Manchester Football Social. The coffee has arrived. I repeat, the coffee has arrived. This is the Full-Time Devils Takeover, the final one of 2017. And we talk about United. I mean, not doing the best at the minute, but we can find positives. We can also find your comments if you go online to YouTube and Facebook, search Full-Time Devils, and give our video a watch because we are live on both platforms. Gaz, you've got the iPad of magic. What do you call it?
We just call it the iPad
The
of magic,
iPad,
mate, to be honest. You've got it right.
like
You've got it
it
spot on.
original.
The iPad of opinions. I'm just having a scroll through, seeing what people are saying. It's really funny seeing the comment section, on YouTube, because a lot of the time it's people arguing with each other.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and argue with a load of other United fans, head over to the YouTube now and get stuck in the comments. At the minute, it's all about Mkhitaryan.
Oh, Mickey. We'll go down that route then, shall we?
Go on then.
Mkhitaryan. I mean, sort of. There was a point in the season when we did think he was going to come good, going to be the player that we bought and believed in. But then over recent times, it slowly dropped off in a way in which it doesn't seem like. Some people have blamed Jose for the problems of Mkhitaryan, saying Jose has brought this player in and he's not, let him build up to the potential that he was over in the Bundesliga. But what do you make of it, Webby?
To be honest, he was our best player last year in the Europa League. He scored 5-6 goals, obviously scored in the final, played really well. And I just think sometimes the Premier League, it's totally different from the Bundesliga. You look at Shinja, was superb over there, played quite a lot of games for us, did well. And he just didn't fit. Hopefully Mkhitaryan will pass that point where he gets over it and he carries on playing. But I think players like that need confidence, need to be playing. If you put him out on the bench or you don't play him like Jose did, then obviously is he sulking? I don't know, but it's down to him now. It's down to a lot of players who are he up for the fight. Did he want to stay at United or did he want to leave? Because if you leave United, you only go one place. You look at Fellaini's going on about
more money.
10 years now, and it may be time. Listen, mate, if you don't want to sign a contract, you know, bigger and better players, Marianne, have left the club than you. We will survive, believe you me, mate. Believe you me.
Believe you me. Now, there is that obviously story. We'll probably get to that later on about Fellaini wanting a bit more money. Cheeky Fellaini.
Tell you what, I've missed that one. What's happened there?
Fellaini. Well, we'll do a little teaser.
All right, nice.
That's still to come. What else is everyone saying on the YouTube?
Well, yeah, like I was saying, on the old YouTube.
Someone saying on the YouTube.
So a lot of people carrying on talking about Mkhitaryan. A lot of people can't really make up their minds. And what I don't understand is how anyone can still rate him above just someone like Jesse Lingard based on the performances since he's been at United. I apart from Europe last year, fair play. Europe last year he was excellent. But in the league, he just doesn't seem like a Premier League player at all. Maybe he'd go and do it in a Spanish league or something like that. But in the Premier League, he feels like he needs about 20 more minutes on the ball every time he gets it. And, I can understand a creative player losing the ball occasionally. That's absolutely fine because it means that at the very least that it's taking men on. Fair enough, you can lose the ball occasionally. But it's like every single time he gets it. And it's always in a frustrating way. So he's got the ball. He's gone round one man. And you're like, right, play the pass, get it through, we can make a chance here. And he'll try and go around another man and get tackled. And I just don't think he's quite right for this team. And I do think that, despite at the start of the season, I felt like I said, we have too many of them. I do think we've got a lot of players who can play in that number 10 position, but none of them who are consistent enough. I mean, Mata is great on his day, and I think that he was great against Leicester. I don't think he was too bad against Burnley either. But he's just not consistent enough. He goes through stages of just disappearing in games. And either we pick and choose and pick the right one for the right game, or we go out and get someone who's going to play there every single game. I'd like to go and see us get a proper number 10.
Going on about Matt, I do feel sorry for the lad himself. He's playing him out on the right-hand side, more 9s out of 10 or on. He's a number 10.
Yeah.
He won Chelsea's Player of the Year 3 years on the bounce, playing as a number 10. Quality player. And we've got to be given that chance. And for me, with what we've got, he has been playing on the right, and he's been playing okay. But he's not going to take you on for pace. He's that man to open that door at a 2-2 or a 0-0 to thread that ball through to the centre forward. And you're not going to do that on the right. You'll do it just behind the number 9. So I'd love to see Match have a go at 10. But if you're looking at it now on the present play for probably for the last few games, then the Southampton game, you can imagine Lingard's going to start at 10.
Right, so we got to have a chat now about 2017. It is coming to an end, and it's been up and down year, you might say. I mean, this end of the season now hasn't been too great, but last season from the January to May, two trophies in a way. One, Gaz, I'll get you going here. I've gone all the way back to Monday the 2nd of January. 2-0 win over West Ham. We kicked things off in the flying colours. We then went on to beat Reading 4-0 in the FA Cup, and Hull City, we beat them 2-0 in the League Cup, and so on and so on. And we didn't get our first defeat in the Premier League till, I wish I had the answer before I started that sentence. Oh, God. Anyway, we got defeated
a few
one
weeks
way.
after.
A few weeks after. No, I tell you what, until March. It wasn't till March. Yeah. Anyway, 2017 was great. I thought it was. I don't think we got a defeat till April. Right, we got someone on the
Was it Arsenal?
I think it was Arsenal. I think you're right. Yeah. Good job, Webby's here. We've also got. We also had some big signings in the summer, including 3 signings that came in that some people can argue if they were the right signings we needed, but they happened. 2017 could be a topsy-turvy year for United if we look back at it in the history books. Gaz, what have you made of it? Do you appreciate the 2 trophies that came through the door?
Of course. Oh, yeah, of course. Always appreciate trophies, even though I'm the type of person who's not a massive League Cup guy. You know, I'm not jumping around like crazy when we win that competition. But 2 trophies, and last season I was still real disappointed with the league position. I really was. And I said, you know, next year it's really got to be our prerogative to have some sort of title challenge. That has got to be what we're going for next year, and it is the sort of minimum expectation. And this year, I suppose if you look at it in some ways, you can say, oh, we're second place. That's kind of what I was going for, but I didn't expect a 15-point gap for first place in front of us. But look, I really genuinely feel like we are making improvements. There are still areas in the team that not only need to be strengthened, but also, you know, I can criticise Jose. I feel like he's definitely open to criticism. I think you've got clowns saying stuff like Jose out and all that, but that is just an opinion that I cannot get on board with, because I don't know. I feel like you must have only been watching United for like 3 years, because some of the things that some people say, they say stuff like you know, the big games he's parking the bus, the big games he's too pragmatic, and I'm just like, Fergie did it, you know. That is genuinely what Fergie did at times. And we went out of the League Cup, and some people saying Jose out after that, and I'm like, does no one remember Coventry or things like that? I feel like we lost to Southend as well, but I might be making that up.
You did. I was there. We got beat 1-0 at Southend.
Yeah. I remember
Freddie
the Southend
Eastwood.
one. That's it. Freddie Eastwood. Yeah.
Freddie Eastwood.
There's been bad times, but like you're saying, I've had more good times following United than I've had bad times, you know what I mean? And going about, Joe, the 2017, those 2 trophies we won made us the most successful club in English football by overtaking Liverpool. So it was a great year for me, you know.
Yeah.
Stick one on them. You know, it's in the books now. We are the most successful team in English football, and those 2 trophies helped us do it. So happy days in my eyes.
Someone tell Dick Van Dijk that. As one of his posts.
It's the difference between the sort of a great team and a great club, a big team and a big club. You know, at the minute we look at City, and yeah, don't get me wrong, they're a very big team, very good players, but they're nowhere near the level of United in terms of stature. So well, at least we've got that.
At least we've got that. 0345 717 7625. Have your say. Get us a call now, like this man has done. Is it Ore?
Yeah, alright.
Alright, so come on then, Ore, let's have a chat with us. You want to speak about transfers? We'll be speaking about transfers later on, but let's have your say. What are you thinking about the January transfer? Who do you want to come see come to Old Trafford?
Well, I think we desperately need a right-sided, natural right-sided midfielder or winger. I thought we needed it in the summer. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Griezmann or Perisic, but yeah, I think that's what we need. I think that, and then a creative midfielder. I think those are the main 2 that I think that we need right now, because we're struggling without those 2.
Gentlemen, inside of me, do you agree that? You need this kind of player?
I agree with what he says. Obviously, I think Mourinho had it nailed on that Perisic was coming. He disappeared out of the country, went to watch the Grand Prix. It never happened. It was devastated. But the one thing we do need, and I'll say it again, we may need a right back. We may need a left back. Pogba's got to start stepping up in bigger matches. Plus, we need a leader in that club. You know, we've had them over the years. I've been fortunate to see Brian Robson, Roy Keane, you know, Vidic. We've had no one since Vidic left the building, you know. And every big team needs one. And I'll go again, look at what John Terry did last year. Played 3 or 4 games for Chelsea, but was there when the chips were down a bit. He got amongst those players and he told them, and they went and won the league. So I do agree what the caller says. We're desperate for a right-sided player, but we also need a big leader, whatever that costs.
Do you have anyone in mind already that you want to see? Any player in mind in particular? Do you think United should go out and spend money on?
I think Özil and Mahrez, because basically my thinking is January we're not going to do like big signings, so like a new left back, like another midfielder. I don't think we can get all of these signings right now. I think with left back with Shaw and Young, we could probably still use them till the end of the season, and with midfield we're just about getting through. Maybe if we recall like Pereira or Fosu Mensah, that can boost us. But what we need right now is a right winger, right midfielder. That like with a right winger, our counter-attack changes completely. You know, people like Martial and Rashford aren't going to be relied on as much to get those fast-paced counter-attacks. But yeah, because it's January, I just don't think we're going to do the big business right now. So I'd say probably just Özil, maybe around 40, 50. That's what I think Arsenal will probably ask for him. And Mahrez anywhere between 30 and 50 as well.
There might be a slight issue. If I think, is Özil £15 million or is he...
Joe, he'll come pre-season on a Bosman, mate, believe you me. That manager's last year he went off the boil a lot, but I tell you what, this year he looks like the player he was when he won the league. You know, so
yeah.
Someone will have a go at him in January, definitely. Whether it's us, I don't know. Do we need that kind of player? I'd love to see him there. He's a great player on his day.
Right, so all right. I mean, we get some comments in saying Mahrez isn't good enough for United, guys. What would you say about that?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think that's an interesting one because this is the sort of thing with Perisic when we were rumoured to bring him in, where he's not sort of he's not going to be like a star player in our team, but he just offers something a little bit different to the other players who can play in that position. What I'm worried about is we end up getting a team full of squad players, which I think we are sort of going towards, where none of them, you know what I mean, we've just not got enough actual class in there, actual proven class. However, I think that Mahrez would be a good shout, and I certainly don't think he'd be a squad player coming into United. I think he'd slot in quite well, and also I think he's very different to the players that we currently have playing in that position.
People say Mahrez isn't good enough. I mean, it's been 2 seasons ago, but what he did for Leicester that season is literally he was their best player. And I think if he comes here with a manager like Jose and the players he'll have around him, like, he will more than be able to recapture that, you know, amazing quality that he showed that season. Yeah.
Well, Ore, thank you very much for your call, mate.
Thank
and
you,
have
mate.
a good new year. If you want to do what Ore did, give us a call. Have your say 0345 177 The number is along the bottom of our YouTube and Facebook page. Speaking of those pages, how's the comment section going, Gaz?
Yeah, it's all going good. There's a few names.
Gaz is looking good this year.
There's been some good
nice
names thrown
beard,
around.
Gaz. I'm reading all sorts here.
A lot of people throwing out some names for us to potentially go for in January. Dybala is one that keeps coming up. There's absolutely zero chance that we could sign someone like that in the January transfer window. Maybe in summer if we throw an obscene amount of money, but not a chance in January. I'm sorry, guys. Mahrez, I think we'd be in with a shout if we really wanted him. I think we could get him in January. However, not sure what his contract situation is, but the 30-50 million that I just said then, I think it might be a bit more than that. I think they might ask for more than that, especially if it's us that go in for him.
Yeah, 100%. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a little break now. We're going to be speaking about Southampton because, Webber, you could say it's a must-win because if you don't get 3 points out of this game, the last 3 games can look pretty dreadful in the festive period. So we're going to have a bit of a break. Get your calls in now, 0345 177 Have your say. Stay live on Facebook and YouTube because we'll be back very shortly. The final section of the final show of 2017. This is the Full-Time Devils takeover of XS Manchester every Thursday, 6 till 7. You can join in by giving us a call, 0345 111 7625, like Ore and Lewis have done previously. Trevor will be having a chat with you, then he'll put you straight to us, and we'll have a bit of a chinwag as well. And when I say we, I mean Gaz and I mean Webby are in the studio as well. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Joe.
Oi, oi.
I want to talk about something that I want to bring to the table, and it's maybe something, this is about transfers. It's something we probably won't be able to sort out in this one, in January, but maybe in the summer. Now, as a kid watching United and from a young age, even right up to a couple of years ago, there was a player that we currently don't have in the squad that was missing. Now, you may mention the leader. Yes, you that is true. A Vidic type player, a Keane type player, but there is another player missing as well. In fact, he's missing quite a lot. Not even got someone taking his place in the squad. Now that is a number 7. Now for me, number 7 as a kid, and you'll agree with this, guys, and so will you, Webby. The player that had number 7 was the star. You loved him. That number 7 would score you goals when you need him. That number 7 would bring out a bit of magic in the back end of the game if you were 1-0 down. That number 7 would be on the back pages of all the newspapers after he's celebrating his goal. And that number 7 currently doesn't exist at Manchester United. Now, if it's an exciting play, I'm not getting emotional, by the way. Got a cold.
I was getting emotional thinking about Mike Lowe, and I was like, wow, yeah.
But you know what I mean? There was that kind of sparkle, magician kind of player
what you mean.
that doesn't exist at United Football Club.
The first number 7 I'd seen, what a player, Stevie Coppell. What a player, ripping down that wing and crossing and scoring. And obviously, you boys will remember, obviously, Robbo, Ronaldo,
Ronaldo, big one.
Big
Beckham.
number 7s, it's about number 7s, and obviously Becks as well. Forgot about Beckham.
Yeah.
We do need that player, we do need that world-class player, but we've had some people who shouldn't have worn the shirts, like from Di Maria and Michael Owen,
Even though he's in the squad now and still plays well, Antonio Valencia should have
Should
never
never
got
be
number 7
So we do need one, but could people handle the pressure with that number 7 on the back of the shirt?
I know, it is pressure.
Georgie Best, I mean? I wasn't privileged to see him live, but I've seen enough. But obviously, if we can get a number 7 in, a world-class player.
Truman Depay was number 7.
Oh, Lord.
Right, so if I
Cheers,
want your comments now, a suitable new number 7 for United, someone we could bring in and they could change everything.
That's a good one.
And it could be that number 7 that we, as United fans, have grown up with. So just let Gaz know, and we'll be heading to Gaz later on to talk about the number 7 you'd like to see at Manchester United. But Webby, we'll talk about January, and we'll talk about if there's anyone in particular you'd like to see come to Old Trafford that can make a difference in the second half of the season.
I don't think we're that much wrong, Joe. Looking at the players we've got on the day, I think we can put up a task and a fight against anybody, But it's when the chips are down, you 2-0 at home against Burnley. Can you imagine Keno being in the centre of that pitch when that free kick's gone in?
Yeah.
He's rallied and we win that game 3-2. Without a doubt, he gets us going at half time. He's ripping into the players. Now, no disrespect, who's out there? Who is out there who can be the leader for Manchester United? No, these players out there. Are we willing to spend the money? We've got to spend the money because, like I said before, losing those 3 players at the same time, Rio, Vidic and Evra, was a massive blow for our club. Maybe lose one, you get away with it. But to lose 3 characters at one time was a hell of a mistake. They could have kept Evra for another year. Just to transit that period and get someone on board. It was a bad blow. It was a bad mistake by the club to let them 3 go. But who can he get in? Who's he about? There's nobody jumping out at me saying you can be good enough to be that leader of Manchester United Football Club. Surely Jose's looking at it and trying to address the problem. And the club, the board, we need to get someone in. Will it happen in January? No. But it's got to happen next year because we'll fall further and further behind that mob down the road who the leader, you look at their leader for the last few years, it's been Company. I know he doesn't play a lot of games now, but he's still, when he's not playing, he's still in around that squad. That's what we need. We need a leader, Joe, and let's hope we find him.
Gaz, is there much happening on that number 7 debate?
Yeah, there's loads, mate. There's some big names going about. Griezmann is one. Dybala, a lot of comments for him, as we mentioned before. James Rodriguez is one. You know what? I'm not even sure how he's doing for Bayern, so someone's going to have to educate me there a little bit.
He went to Bayern, didn't he? On that mad 2-year loan.
Draxler, and lots more comments for Griezmann, who is a player that I think the plan was he was going to get that number 7. And you know what? I think that not only did we think we were going to get him, Jose thought he was going to get him, Ed Woodward thought he was going to get him. I think Griezmann thought he was coming as well, until he saw that transfer ban for Atletico and then just thought, no, probably shouldn't then. But yeah, a lot of comments coming in, mate.
Keep them coming. What about yourself then, guys? Is there a certain player or players out there that you could see come to Old Trafford and make a bit of a difference in that second half of the season?
I mean, well, if we're allowed to throw any name out there, you know which player I'd absolutely love to see at United one day. And I know it's not going to happen because he's so good, but Asensio at Real Madrid, I think he would be some player to get into United where whenever I've seen him, he's looked good. What about even Isco? Someone like that. Quality players that aren't necessarily playing all the games. And Real Madrid aren't doing great this season, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. That either of them might fancy it. But that's the sort of player that I'd like to see. And this is the sort of player that I think we need in that number 10 position a little bit more.
You've not got long left. 0345 111 7625. You try to get through, you will get through eventually. Don't worry. 0345 111 7625. We're going to try and get you on before the end of the show, which is in 6 minutes' time. Oh, hasn't it flown by? Southampton is next up for Manchester United. It's not going to be that easy, though. Tottenham did make it seem quite easy when they played them on Boxing Day. You set up United, how, Webby? How is your attacking lineup for United? Because clearly Zlatan's not working. I've heard a lot of people call for Martial to play up top by himself and maybe give Lukaku a rest, not drop him, a rest. What do you make of that, and what do you do if you were in charge?
Well, if you look at Southampton, you look at the club itself, you know, the amount of players what they've sold, not just to Liverpool, to other teams, you know. They've got a great youth system, but this is the right time to play them. They must be thinking, they sacked the manager, which I thought was the most stupid thing to do. They come 8th in the league, they got to a cup final, you know, and it's not working out for that Pellegrini. Is it Pellegrini or the manager at Southampton? He used to play for Liverpool, didn't he? And Valencia.
There's a name very similar to that.
Great centre half in his time, but it's not working for them. They've got a good beating at Wembley by Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we turn him over, I think he's out of a job. You know, and it gives them time. Game over. Are they going to give him money in January because they've just got 75 off Liverpool for the centre half? We've got to go 4-4-2, but it won't happen. We're going to set up the normal way, and we've got to go it from the word go. And I think if you look what Spurs done, they absolutely hammered him. They're a team playing with no confidence. They've got a team full of injuries and suspensions. Austin's out against us, so he got a 3-match ban, who's a bit of an handful now. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, Joe, we've got to attack him, we've got to win the game, and then we move on to the Everton game, but it's going to be hard at first. But I fancy us to turn them over.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. If because Martial didn't, for some reason,
no, he didn't.
He didn't. Maybe given a day off, bit of a rest. But yeah, I felt like
I thought he was on fire. I thought he was on fire at Leicester.
Yeah, I felt like
he had a real good game, and obviously I got in the game late on Boxing Day, and obviously I knew what in the 11, but presumed he'd be on the bench. To find out he's not on the bench was a bit of a shock, but he must play. You know, on his day, I'd love to see him play back down the middle again. You know, that's what he is. He's a centre forward.
I think
down the middle.
I feel like we pay a lot of these teams a little bit too much respect at times. I mean, at Burnley, you could see in the second half something as simple as a man running at the defence. As soon as Jesse Lingard comes on, you've got to realise these teams. I don't know the polite way of saying this, but the defenders can't really handle it when they've got a striker running at them. They get too scared. Yeah. You know, they get scared by it, and Jesse Lingard completely just took advantage of that as soon as he came on against Burnley. So I think Lingard has to start this game without doubt. In fact, I think at the minute he gets in my first United 11, and that sounds ridiculous because I've been saying for ages that I'm fine with Jesse Lingard as long as he's not starting every week. But at the minute, the form he's in, keep playing him.
Keep playing Jesse Lingard. Keep scoring them goals, mate. Lingard obviously will be key. I mean, he gave a lot of stick. So he does score the goals and he still bags the goals. Do you look at him as now your first team player, or do you still think there was room for an improvement?
There's room for improvement. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that the likes of Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial aren't both better than Jesse Lingard, because I do believe that they are both better than him. However, I think it's a consistency thing at times where Lingard he will be will have a consistent sort of run for quite a bit. Whereas Martial and Rashford, you never know which one of them's going to turn up. Rashford has played some proper stinkers recently, but at the same time, we all know exactly what he can do, and it's same with Martial.
Just going on about Rashford playing with no confidence at all. Some of the crowd are getting a bit on his back. He's a kid,
which is out of order.
You know, do you know what got me as well? And I never mentioned it. All those people at half time on Saturday who decided to boo, don't bother coming next game. Don't need you. You know what I mean? Don't bother. Just give your ticket away or leave your seat.
Is that your final moment of the year?
Booing, absolutely booing, spoilt people. You know, I've been in that ground where we've had 18,000 and we beat Wimbledon 1-0. That's how bad it got. It got terrible, but we stuck with it. And all those who want to boo, not for me. Go and support someone who likes booing.
Exactly. No, you're right. Support the team. If you're going to turn up to Old Trafford, support the team.
Yeah,
get behind it.
I can't not disagree. We've only a minute left. Maybe let's go to the comments. What people are saying. The comments coming in thick and fast. The final comments of 2017.
What's that? Whether you're looking good on Facebook.
That's
for my mum.
We're going to do that naked episode this time.
McLaren Nimbus says, love Lingard, some fans try to bury him. It's completely right.
Nimbus, what a great second name.
It is, isn't it? I can't imagine that's his real name. I'm not having that.
What is that broom that Harry Potter sits on? It's not Nimbus. Nimbus 2000. Sorry, Nimbus.
You're a proper millennial, you aren't you,
Love
Joe?
Harry Potter.
Right, what else have we got? To be honest, right, it's just people throwing out names that they want us to sign in January because everyone thinks it's like FIFA where we can go out and just buy anyone. I don't think we'll buy anyone huge in January. To be honest.
Do you not think?
No, I'd like a defender, but
2017 is coming to an end. This is the last time we'll be together. 2017. I mean, it's been an emotional year, hasn't it, Gaz?
Yeah, it has, mate.
Maybe some of your highlights. Have you got a certain player that stood out for you this season and half of last? For me, it is still David De Gea. Time after time, you can't pick anyone above him. So I'll give him my sort of player of the year.
Antonio Valencia. Unbelievable. Shouldn't be at right back, but does a good job. People forget he's a right winger. That could be the problem. Bring Fosu Mensah back. Put Tony there.
Tony there. That's a good shout, that.
You know the player I'm going to go for, even because not only just because of how well he played since he's been here, but when he's been injured recently, it's affected us a massive amount, and that is Eric Bailey. I think he's been top, Eric Bailey. I've loved watching him play. Just a proper old school defender.
Perfect. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and we'll see you in 2018. Thank you for watching online as well. There will be a podcast, and we will be here same time next week, Thursday, XS Manchester, 6 till 7. Have a great new year, and we'll see you in 2018.
All the best.
All the best.
All the best.